So who was it? The first person on earth by Prabagar. Today our three main focuses are on who was it, how were they created, where did they originate, and how did they communicate verbally. So who was it? It is said in the Bible that 6,000 BC ago there is proven to be existence made by a fellow man named Adam who claims to be the first person on earth. So how was Adam and Eve created? In the Bible, it mentions that God had created the first person, Adam, out of dust from the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. And of course, he was very lonely all by himself, so God decided to make animals to accompany his loneliness. God realized that animals didn't really impact the way Adam lived, so when Adam was sleeping, God took a part of his rib and turned it into a fellow woman named Eve. Where did they originate and how did they communicate verbally? Where did they originate? It is mentioned in the Bible that Adam and Eve both originated in Israel, where Hebrew is traditionally spoken. How did they communicate verbally? Traditional Jewish exegesis, such as Midrash, says that Adam spoke Hebrew because the name he gives Eve, Isha and Shava only makes sense in Hebrew. Soon after, his bond with Eve was indestructible. They lived in a world in which they were allowed to do anything they wanted, with only one exception, and that was to not eat the fruit from the tree of knowledge and evil. Then came Satan, the evil serpent, which had changed the mind of both Adam and Eve and tempted them to eat the fruit. Adam and Eve couldn't resist the temptation of the delicious fruit hanging from the tree, so they decided to eat it. This had obviously got God very mad, so God decided to make their lives difficult. No longer could they live in the perfect world of the Garden of Eden. Men would have to struggle and sweat for their existence. Women would have to bear children in pain and be rolled over by their husbands. Stress and depressed, all they had to be thinking about. God also gave them the sin of nakedness the minute they ate the apple. All their clothes disappeared, and that's when they got embarrassed of showing their body out to each other, so they built skirts out of leaves which covered some of their body. After eating the spiritual fruit, this had led to death, not physically but spiritually. This had also led to immediate separation from God. As a result, the death of Adam and Eve wasn't put into the Bible, but it does state that they have lived a long time after that. It also states that the approximate age of which Adam lived for would have been 930 years. Eve's death was unknown. This is a story, I assure you, that has captivated many minds and left people pondering about the rest, as not everything that has happened was written in the Bible accurately. This also teaches us an important moral, and that is that you should always be obedient to everyone, and that you shouldn't be deceived by others' thoughts. Thank you, and I hope that you learned something about Adam and Eve.
Created using Powtoon.